play's called Him and Me, the Tracy and Hepburn Story, and it kind of says what it is on the tin, really. It's
about the love affair between Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn in Old Hollywood. He was married, yet they had an affair for 26 years, and she was there right up until the day of his death.
I approached Dan about this project about November last year. 2019. And I asked him if he knew who Spencer Tracy was, to which he replied,
whatever Wikipedia is now feeding me.
And then he liked the idea of the project, so we got in the studio and we started improvising things. And then after each improvisation, we'd write it all down. And then I'd go home and type it up.
And then we'd bring it back and we'd change it around again.
Yeah.
Until, well, rinse and repeat with every scene.
Until lockdown.
Until lockdown occurred.
And then we lived together, so we wrote together, which made it a lot easier, but then harder to rehearse and improvise scenes. So it was a blessing and a curse.
It's been a very long process, but
enjoyable.
Enjoyable.
Yeah, and we've learned a lot from both of them, I think. It was nice to have something to focus on, because obviously the arts and theatre has been hit really hard during this pandemic. So we knew that there wasn't going to be any work this year. So kind of making our own work was fantastic, and it really gave us something to focus on. Yeah, to look forward to.
Well, through the quite troublesome times of 2020.
Yeah, and then we did a few sort of Zoom rehearsals, didn't we? But we realised that because our cast was so small.
Yeah, the level of intimacy of the play as well, where we're such a small cast and the topic is so intimate that we needed to be in person for it to work.
Yeah.
So us having lived together, the whole process has been really worthwhile.
We started the page in June or July of 2020. Really just because we wanted to sort of do more to publicise the play.
And as well, it's worked as a really good scrapbooking tool. So we can go back through that now and we can see almost our whole process as a page of photographic memories.
Yeah, almost. Which is brilliant. But as we went along, obviously, we got a lot of followers of like people that are really interested in old Hollywood and
various stars, especially the ones we mentioned within the play.
Yeah, and we've had actually some invaluable people following us.
Including a Katharine Hepburn researcher who we've become friends with online since.
Who is brilliant, fantastic. And we just message her with a question and she'll just get back to us like that. She knows everything.
So as well as our own research, we've been able to supplement that with people who know more about the kind of the wider.
And also they have more material. She's a collector. So she's got different various letters and items and photographs that no one else has access to. So
we've been able to create and work our characters to be as alike to and accurate to the real Kate and Spence as we can.
Yeah.
Both in the writing and the performance.
And everyone on the Instagram has been really supportive. We're lucky, and I mean, touch wood, but we haven't come across any negativity yet,
it's been lovely.
Which has been really wonderful and really encouraging, and also slightly terrifying now that we have to share it with everyone. But we're really excited for everyone to see it.
We are.
It's allowed us more time, which has been really good, because obviously with the restrictions and the comings and goings of the pandemic, we haven't had as much rehearsal time as we'd like, or as much time in the space as we'd like. So it's been good in that sense, because it means we can get it perfect, or as close to perfect as we can. So what we're putting out there will be
the best version of what we can put together on film.
Yeah.
As well, where we can't have in-house audiences at the moment, it's just we feel very lucky that we can still put our play out there and people can see it. When you know, in the month and the year and time and the space that we wanted to perform it in, we're very lucky.
Yeah. And it's exciting too, because I mean, I know you've done filming before and I've done a little bit, but not like this. I don't think either of us have done anything quite like this before. So we're really excited about how that's going to pan out, and also to work with the team that we've got behind us, who are all just incredible.
Really incredible.
So yeah, exciting stuff.
I think even with early on in the writing phase, we knew we had a very interesting subject to write about and to make a play out of. It's a story that we were very passionate about once we were researching it, and we feel that even from the early stages, we could take this further and we could possibly create a tour out of this show, maybe write a simpler version and take it to the festivals and things like that. That would be our next step and the next step on the ladder.
And we've also had some interest from other companies, actually in other countries as well, in acquiring the rights to put it on stage, which is really exciting.
Very encouraging.
Very encouraging. Yeah. So we're going to see how it all turns out, really, and maybe get it published.
That would be wonderful.
There's just a lot of possibilities, things we can do with it in the future, which is really lovely. And like Dan said, it's become a passion project, really. And we've definitely become very protective over Kate and Spence as people and their story. So for us, getting that story out there as close to the truth as it was or as it was portrayed by Kate is really important to us, because there's a lot of myths and untruths out there.
There are even entire biographies about Kate which seem entirely fabricated, and they're quite vicious, and it's totally an unfair portrayal of who she was, and she was a really wonderful woman. So we're hoping that by this going further and developing to like tours or going to different companies and things like that, that it's going to help kind of tell that side of the story and help that reach a wider audience. I have really looked up to Kate for a while, and I knew about Spencer Tracy and her relationship with him, but it wasn't until I actually started reading about it that I realised how intricate and complicated their relationship was. And I just thought it would make a fantastic subject for a play. They're one of those Hollywood couples that weren't a Hollywood couple, but they were a couple. It's very confusing, but what audiences saw was they saw that they made 9 films together over the course of their career. So some of them they played opposite each other, but they always kind of ended up as a coupling, and always incredible leads to those films. But what the audiences may or may not have seen is that a lot of those relationships and even some of the things that happened in real life were taken by writers and who knew about their relationship and then worked into the stories themselves. Not explicitly in story fashion, but little moments were taken, and we've tried to do that as well with ours. We've tried to take moments from their lives that maybe haven't been touched by writers before. And not only that, but going from Kate to Spence was a fantastic actor, and at the time I think quite that's what I'm looking for. Well respected as an actor in that community. But nowadays people seem to forget who he is. Yeah. And I said earlier that when you first mentioned his name to me, I had to look him up online. Yeah. But then once I realised who he was, I could put a face to a name. I realised I'd watched half a dozen of his films before. And it's such a shame, because I mean he was brilliant. He was really good and ahead of his time. And but he's not spoken about nearly enough. And I think it's about time he was. Yes. The stream is set to start on the 25th, which is the Monday coming from now, and it will be up every night. Stream starts a little bit beforehand, but the show will start at 7:30 p.m. UK time, and it will be on every night from the 25th until the 30th of this month, January.